Because you know, I see a lot of people, I can't even escape from them when they want to talk. I mean, I always like to say I go to the bathroom and there's no window to climb out. So they just wait for me. I got a nice little letter from a young lady, Tosi, T-O-C-C-I, telling me that her concerns about this resolution, and I really enjoyed it and liked it. And she said, a letter cannot replace, because she knew that I said you can go out and get signatures, cannot replace the testimony of your citizens. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. So I went and did some research. And here I have a very good friend of mine. It's just an example of how open and above board we are. My good friend Kathy Nolan in the last few years spoke over 30 times to this body on all sorts of issues. No censorship. And that's the word in the front page of this. Censorship. Just not true. And it talks about how the Declaration of Independence was a memorializing resolution. That is so unfair, untrue, and misrepresentative. The people that signed the Declaration of Independence, remember John Hancock in the big letters? They were signing their death warrant. Because had they lost, they couldn't say, oh, I was really against it. No, you signed it here. Had they lost, the next words they would have heard was, hang him, it'll teach him a lesson. So, I think in my own mind, and I could go on and on about some of the other absolute fabrications in this thing. But what blew my mind was a few months ago, or whenever it was, when this body, and I don't care who the President of the United States is in particular, but when this body cavalierly voted against the Trans-Pacific Trade Pact, and particular some parts of it, and I asked some folks who sponsored it, what parts were you opposed to? It's like a deer in the headlight, and if you ever hit a deer in the headlight, you know they look right at you when you run into them. So here we are, the Ulster County Legislature, voting against the Trans-Pacific Pipeline that a President of the United States and world leaders, world business people, spent 7 years negotiating. 7 years. And we just decided one night we're going to vote against it. And you know, going back to the sense of the House of Representatives and the House and sense of the Senate, check it out. It very specifically says their political resolutions used to embarrass one side or the other. So I think these things don't have to go away. Do you know, last year, or a year and a half ago maybe, when I was over there, on the scaffolding law, because I don't like these things. So I went out and asked the folks to help me draft a resolution on the scaffolding law, and its restrictions and difficulties it brings on for business and labor. And I went around with a bunch of the colleagues and asked them to sign it. But then I brought it to Albany. You know what? I got some response to it. It didn't pass. But I did get some response. And a lawyer for some group called me and said, well, you don't really understand. I go, I understand that. But so it doesn't have to go away. But we can't be so busy that we can't work at it. So when the vote comes, I want to get rid of them.
Legislator Allen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted a few quick points of clarification. Sometimes when people are making comments when you're speaking, it kind of throws your rhythm off a little bit. When it was discussed before, it was brought up by somebody that's debating for the end of memorializing resolutions. The budget figure that they thought the Ulster County budget was stated as $350 million. We haven't seen a budget of $350 million in my tenure as a legislator. Thanks to County Executive Mike Hine, he's made some cuts, and the budget this year that he delivered us was $324.8 million, and through the deliberative processes in the Ways and Means Committee, we added another $200,000 back on that. It was around an even $325 million to reiterate the point of Legislator Berkey, we do perform due diligence within committees, and to also piggyback on the point of Legislator Hepner, resolutions are brought back and held off for a month, looking for more information from the county executive's office. So these are things that do happen, and there is due diligence done on the deliberation by the county executive's office through the RFP process, through the research process that they do, where they're trying to get the best deal that they can possibly get for the taxpayers of Ulster County. And when it comes down to us, the objective that the committees and the caucus procedure that everybody hopes for is for everything to be moved into consent. And the reason why things are moved into consent is generally implicit by nature of resolutions being moved into consent is that there's no deliberation and debate. So we can roll through a monthly meeting in like 45 or 50 minutes and be out of here and be on our way home an hour after the meeting started. So with that being said, memorializing resolutions do serve a purpose in here, and it does facilitate positive debate, and good things have come out of them. And I'm voting no on this for clarification, my last point. Thank you.
And to finish the debate, Legislator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the clerk's office for compiling the list of memorializing resolutions.
Lift the mic.
Can you not hear me? I'm surprised.
The gallery was having some trouble.
Really? Okay. It represents a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of different people coming together to advance issues on whether they're local, national, state. We have no problems going through our agenda. As was highlighted earlier, we often come together to put a bunch of different resolutions into consent because we've already done the work in committee, or we've already figured out how we are going to be able to provide the proper oversight. We had 8 resolutions, including this one, that were in non-consent. It wasn't as if somehow memorializing resolutions were weighing us down. But that's okay. This is how the majority is just going to do it, then that's just how it is. We in the minority have only our voice. And more importantly, we have you. And when we go back, don't interrupt because I'm in mid-rant and I'll lose my place. The issue becomes that we are either a voice for our constituents or we are not. We are either going to embrace the idea that we can effectuate change beyond this room or we can't. Now that said, I will gladly admit there are letters, there's other things that we can do. No one said that somehow that all of government's going to end or that somehow our voice will end. However, I will say that resolutions have been a focal point. They have been a way to sort of garner not just comment and interest from the public, but also actual debate here in this room. My goal is not to go home as quickly as possible. Mind you, I don't want to be here any second longer with you guys than I have to be. But that said, my goal is not how quickly I get out of here to go home. My job is to represent my constituency. Now, my constituents are opposed to a memorializing ban, and that's fine. Maybe Kenny's are all for it. So be it. I will say this. This does not end here. This will continue on. I need you guys to continue to come up to Kingston to deliver your comments here at that podium to make us aware of things that are happening.
Please address the chair.
Through the chair to the audience. That said, Mr. Chairman, it is a sad day for this legislature. I see this is where the majority wants to lead us. Well, so be it.
And Legislator Gerentine to finish the debate.
Because heck, Legislator Rodriguez don't want to go home, I have to talk to you. Is that all right, Hector?
Sure.
Okay.
Listen, Rich, for you, I'll stay. I'll stay all night, Rich.
Legislator Gerentine, please address the chair.
I'm not saying I don't like Hector. I like him, but not that much. But anyway. Disregarding what this resolution does tonight, pass, fail, whatever the case may be, all of us have a job to do. We were elected here by our constituents, our people. And we have a job to do. You should not say, oh, just because we don't have memorialized resolutions anymore, we're gonna stop doing our work. We're gonna continue to do our work. People are still gonna come here on public comment and speak. You're gonna get ideas from the public. You're gonna talk to your constituents. You're gonna get letters. And if you think it's that important, like someone said earlier, get a group of people together, ask the legislative body together, bring it through committees in different ways, and write letters to our congressmen, our assemblymen, our senators, whatever the case may be, the governor. This does not stop, this does not stop because we are maybe saying tonight we're not gonna have any more memorial election resolutions. We still have a job to do, and we have a function to do. And then we owe it to our constituents to do that job. And if you think we shouldn't be doing that job, our voices are still gonna be heard. One way or the other, the public, still gonna be heard. Like Ken said before, he went to coffee shops, he goes to the grocery stores. I'm sure all of us go through there, and we hear different people say different things. Take those comments back to the committee and expand on them. You're still gonna hear the voices of your constituents, no matter what happens here tonight. So in saying that, call the question.
On the resolution.
We're short yes.
We're a short no with one yes. Legislator John Parity.
The resolution is adopted, 13-9.
That's the last resolution of the evening. I know it's been a long meeting. I know it's been a long meeting, but I want a few more minutes of your attention as we make a couple of important announcements and honor some of the outstanding Ulster County citizens that we've lost in the last month. I'm disappointed that many people are leaving during the reading of the memorials. First, I want to invite you all to an event at SUNY Ulster Theater next Wednesday, April 26th at 6 o'clock, where we're sponsoring a community awareness forum with the college and UCAN entitled Where There's Help, There's Hope. There's information on your desk, and I encourage you all reach out to your local towns and community leaders to get the word out about this important issue. I would like to personally thank Legislator Craig Lopez for offering us his talents in doing all the design work on the flyer and the poster. Now, I will ask that Legislator Carl Belfilio read this month's memorials. And folks, this is a really somber time, so I'd appreciate it if we wouldn't be talking to one another and milling about. Legislator Maloney? Okay. Thank you. Legislator Belfilio, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The April 18, 2017 Ulster County Legislature is an adjournment of Richard Eck of Ellenville, James LaDolce, Port Orange.
I'm sorry,
Florida.
Legislator Belfilio, will you hold on for 1 second? Ma'am, would you just hold on for just 2 minutes? This will take 2 minutes. It's an important thing, and then afterwards we can have conversation. Thank you, Legislator Belfilio. Continue.
Let's start over.
Thank you.
The April 18, 2017 Ulster County Legislature adjourns in the memory of Richard Eck, Ellenville, New York, James LaDolce, Port Orange, Florida, Charles C. Roach, Town of Ulster, John A. Avies, Town of Ulster, Sandra J. Kaczynski, Kingston, Edward C. Blaustein, Walk Hill, David M. Thornton, Saugerties, Gertrude F. Landy, Ulster Park, Juanita Kenny, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, John J. Albright, High Falls, John K. Ashton, Jr., New Paltz, Robert F. Innes, St. Remy, Andrew Miller, Walk Hill, Joan T. Whitaker, Saugerties, Irene M. Daly, Saugerties, Rose L. Topple, Saugerties, Harvey D. Semiloff, Stewart, Florida, James R. Dixon, Walk Hill, New York, Barbara I. Stone, Ellenville, Richard A. Roach, Walk Hill, Adriana M. Williams, Stone Ridge, Elaine T. Weed, Walk Hill, New York, my friend Michael L. Fairweather of New Paltz, Dora B. Burns, Carolyn of Walk Hill, New York. And I'd also like to adjourn this meeting to a personal friend and acquaintance that I've known for many years. 2 weeks ago, I got a letter basically from a dying man. Johann Christoph Arnold, Rifton, part of the Bruderhof community. He was their leader for 48 years. Didn't realize that he was that sick when I read his letter 2 weeks ago, and then got a call from Woodcrest to tell me that he had died. He was a great spiritual leader for Ulster County. Everything he did, from the books that he wrote to the interactions that he had with people. I had a personal enlightened experience with him when my daughter died in 2010, and he's going to be sorely missed not only in the church community, but also in the town of Esopus and in Ulster County. And his mark on this world is worldly. It doesn't just pertain to Ulster County, New York State, but the mission of the Bruderhof people is worldwide. And my condolences go out to him and his family. God bless everyone on this list tonight. Thank you.
Legislator Parity?
I'd just like to mention one thing before we leave. Though a lot of the folks have left. I kind of agree with one of the things Dave said before about people getting involved in issues of the county. And 1 month ago today, I mentioned how there were over 2,000 people down in the Kate Walton Fieldhouse, mommies and daddies and grandmas and people over the opiate and heroin addiction. I actually may have missed it, but I didn't read anything in the press about it. Over 2,000 people. And I wish we could get some of the folks generated or excited about trying to help, because it's just a terrible, crippling thing. It's an epidemic, and we're spinning our wheels. Sorry.
Legislator Green?
Yes, I'd like to add, as we close tonight's session, a memorial to Victoria Langley, who worked from Rosendale, who worked hard for social justice and also promoted collaborative communication amongst people. Thank you.
Legislator Donaldson?
Yes, so to make sure that people understand that tomorrow, not tomorrow, Thursday rather, at SUNY New Paltz is our Human Rights Commission as a panel that's put together in reference to restorative justice. And it's a new approach to school discipline, and there are some, excellent presenters there. And if you have the time, get out there and go to it. It is our Human Rights Commission that is putting it together. And I will say I am very proud of our Human Rights Commission. It's been the most active since I've been on this legislature. And I've been here quite a long time, 22 years. So, it's very active. They're actually getting out, they're doing forums, and this is a very good forum for those that want to understand this restorative justice.
With that, I too want, I want to just make mention of Johan's passing and all of the great work that he did, not only for this community, but around the world. The Beatitudes, it's written in the Beatitudes that blessed are the peacemakers, and if there was ever a peacemaker on this planet, it was Johann Christian Arnold. So this whole county has a hole in it. Dean, did you have somebody you wanted to add? No. Oh, Legislator Litz, with that? Second? Second. All in favor? Opposed?